installing it. They've actually built out another one, and they're doing a client's bus right now. So they're trying to juggle. This thing's got brand new tires on it. Also got a rack ready for you to put a deck on. And let's go inside and see the inside. But it is for sale for $40,000 to $45,000.
That's great.
And what year is it?
This is a 2008. We got it
Super
2 years
cool.
ago.
Super functional.
And we had school bus seats in it, and now it's all completely an RV.
And you said you and your boyfriend built it out?
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
We
And we got our doggo, so we made it super spacious for all three of us. And it's been the perfect size.
I'm gonna have to feel it out.
They lived in an Econoline, low roof.
Yeah.
A couple years before
I
that.
like this.
Yeah.
This is a cool feature.
Yeah. DIY. Turned out pretty nicely. But
You guys just use some pipes and stuff?
yeah. And
That's
then,
awesome.
yeah, it turned out really nice.
And hers is flat. I bought the Lagoon, expensive, and it tilts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
I love
it's
to
terrible.
see. I love to see how people reuse.
We really fell in love with the whole deal.
Propane tanks in there.
So we're just doing it again.
It's awesome.
You've
It's
got
like a piece of
super,
art.
super
And, you know,
nice
it's so.
cars.
It's such a gift to have a talent to be able to like design and build such a thing because.
Yeah,
lot
I
of
mean, it's a
people
lot
don't
of
really-
trial there for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
when I first started this, I had no clue it was gonna look like this.
Uh-huh.
When it was all very like by the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with how it turned out.
That's
Because
awesome.
yeah, because once
No, it
things
turned
come
out
in, you're
well.
like, whoa, I want to do this instead.
It is funded by the Whaletail License Plate Grant, so if you've seen those around town, maybe you've noticed that before, and you can always pick up one of those as well online. If you want it on a website, I can share that with you later. But I just want to get into starting this conversation with y'all today about why we're here and why it's important to do what we're doing. So, I have some questions. I want to know how much y'all know already, but does anybody know any reasons why the ocean and keeping our environment, keeping the oceans and our environment clean is important? Feel free to yell it out if you have any ideas. Why is the ocean important? Why is it important to keep it clean? I know some of you have some ideas. Protect wildlife. Awesome. What else? Yes. Keep ourselves alive. Yes, exactly. Do we have one more idea? Why is the ocean there? The food chain, yeah. So these are all great ideas. Can everyone take a deep breath with me? Just take a deep breath. So 50% of the oxygen that we breathe actually comes from phytoplankton in the ocean. And it turns out we have to breathe. So it's super important to protect them. Also, somebody mentioned food chain. If you eat seafood, then one of your food sources is coming directly from the ocean. So we want to protect the environment where our food's coming from. There have been many marine-based medicines discovered that can treat a wide variety of medical issues. And also, just like we all appreciate being on the beach, a lot of other people do too. So the tourism that our beaches attract helps our local economy. So for all these reasons, we gather in these groups and try to keep our areas clean. Next, I want to know how much y'all know about what kind of pollutants we're finding in our oceans right now. Plastic. What kind of ideas? Yep, plastic. I heard a couple of that. Anybody else have ideas of what kind of things we're finding? Oil. Yeah, nets, oil, totally. So we are finding things like heavy metals, and those are coming from things like brake dust from cars, hazardous waste. We're finding bacteria from animal waste and agricultural runoff, yard waste, and we're finding litter, obviously, tons of litter like plastic people mentioned. The issue with this, so in our watersheds, when rain is coming over our watershed, which is just an area of land that water has to travel through to get to a body of water, so for us it's the ocean, rainwater is carrying things through the watershed down into the ocean and also through storm drains. So if you've ever seen storm drains in the cities, you may have noticed that there's usually tons of trash around them, right, because it's getting funneled into there. And those are not filtered, so anything that ends up in a storm drain will end up in the ocean. So really important for us to look out for these kinds of things and try to divert it from the ocean when we can. So does anybody have a guess of what will be common items that we find today in our cleanup?
Cigarette butts.
Cigarette butts.
Trash bags.
Trash bags. Yeah, well, hopefully we use some trash bags. Maybe we'll find some too. But yes, cigarette butts and plastic are the #1 things that we find on our cleanups. And one cigarette butt, just a single one, can contaminate up to 2 gallons of water. And it has also a plastic filter in it that will never biodegrade. And then plastics, though they're super durable, really useful for a lot of reasons, when they are exposed to the ocean environment and sun, they continue to break down smaller and smaller and smaller into microplastics and even to the molecular level, and they will never go away. So it's great that we have plastics for things like, chairs. I'm sure we could name a lot of plastic items here that are super useful, but when we're using them for single use, it can be really damaging, and it already is super damaging to our environment. So I want to talk about what situation we're in right now. Currently, we have a garbage patch called the Pacific Garbage Patch, which is like basically just a glob of soupy, gross trash in the ocean. And it is estimated to be about twice the size of Texas, which is terrifying, obviously. 90% of this is made up of plastic. And the issue with this is that a lot of our marine population is mistaking this for food. And so birds like albatross and tons of other seabirds are swooping down thinking that this is food. Then their bodies are not receiving the nutrients that they need, and we are losing about 1 million seabirds a year and about 100,000 other marine animals a year due to being tangled up in trash or otherwise poisoned from what we're finding in this garbage patch. So though this is really upsetting information, we want to think of the positives and know that our individual efforts do make a difference. Everything that we pick up today from this cleanup will be diverted from the oceans, and our efforts do stack up. So we hold events like this quite often, and we'd love to see your faces if you're ever available. If you can support Iloveacleansandiego in other ways by spreading the word, telling your friends, trying to live a more zero-waste lifestyle, we always welcome that, and we're always open to answering any questions about how to dispose of things properly or how other ways you can get involved.
So this is Jim and Carol's van. I met them earlier. They're not here right now, but we're going to take a quick little video. They've got some outside tables, which are really cool, that pop open. Dometic fridge. And you go inside. They have their bed. And the coolest thing, you see that little box right there that pops out of the wall, actually is what you see built right there, and that's because Jim is over 6 feet tall and needs to pop his feet out into an insulated box when they sleep. So what a great setup that is. Thanks for sharing. Hey guys, thanks so much for coming out to this beach cleanup Seker event 2022 and taking a tour of some of these vans and things that I've shown you. And make sure and stay tuned, because I've got a lot more content and it's going to be a lot more regular, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you get an update every time I put a new video up. And I will see you every single week as I post a new video on Sundays. So stay tuned. Let's see what's going to happen this next week. We'll see you soon. Peace out.